Soulful art takes you on a journey into the depths of emotions and reflections through the artist's brushstrokes. Each painting in the gallery invites viewers to explore the rich tapestry of thoughts and experiences that define our existence. And I know that Thaniath has a story behind all the paintings. And usually when she posts it, she'll explain all that as well. There we go. Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Is this a particular spot, Tanya?
No, actually, this I do not paint from any pictures, and a lot of people ask me, is this particular from a particular place
Hmm.
or something? But then I say it's your imagination. You can think it's from there. So most of my paintings have no reference of any photographs. They just come very intuitively because I'm a very intuitive artist. This piece I called Peace Within. So here I was working with a lot of layers, but then I cooled it down with little creamy looking white colors streaming through
Mhm.
across the. It has almost like an encaustic look, but it's not an encaustic piece. This was at the Color and Form show. And when I went there and they asked me, is this encaustic? And I said, no, and it's just pure acrylic. So, yeah, so it's, a place wherever you want to imagine, really.
Is this, there are like sometimes water drips and there are drops. Is it intentional and at the bottom right hand side, or
Yes, it's
that
a
is
very,
intentional?
yes, it's very intentional. And
Or is
it's
it the
about,
water has flown like,
yes, yes.
yeah, can you tell me something about that?
Yeah, so basically, if you look at I was going to talk about that in the next two smaller pieces that you see on the right. The whole series was
Okay,
called Drips and Drops. So I use this a lot
okay.
in the intuitive process where I let the water almost guide me into the painting, almost telling me what to paint. So I work with it.
Mhm.
I keep it a little watery at times. Then I move the canvas. And as it moves, I form the shapes and the lines and everything. So it's a very intuitive process, but very intentional as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then this piece is called Sky. This one is the Let It Flow. And Let It Flow really comes from the thought process of, you know, finding the process in which the water flows very freely without any intentions. The life itself, if you let it flow, becomes easier to you. So that's where I try to show those drips and drops and, those turquoise marks almost very intuitively going across the painting. And then the next one, if Alicia can, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so this one again comes from the same series, and you can see those drips and drops. It's a little scary at times because you're letting the water just go all over the place on your canvas, but yet you're trying to control it. So there's a whole balance that you have to keep. And which drips do you want highlighted and which you don't want? So that's a process you learn over time. And sounds of water is a very is like I'm trying to bring the awareness of the sounds, literal sounds of water, and comparing
Mm-hmm.
it to the life experiences, like water splashes. Water is flowing and it's falling. So this is a little larger piece. It's a 24 by 16. And Take a Moment to Breathe is about really visualizing the sunset, and as it touches you see the horizon line, and that's the most spectacular line, I think, when you see in a sunset. So it's about taking a pause, taking a moment to breathe. So that's what I tried to show in this. There's a bit of calmness there, and there's a little bit of movement again in the water. The drips are there
Yeah.
as well. They seem to be following me around, so I don't know how long they'll follow me. But that's a style I think each artist tends to have, and they keep repeating few techniques. So it's about just taking a moment to breathe, really. So we can move to the next one, Alicia.
Thaniath, do you have the title before or after?
I would say 90% of the time it comes during the process.
Okay.
I will never
Okay.
select a title and say, okay, I take a moment to breathe and I'm going to paint that. No, it'll never happen. So it'll
Okay.
be, unless it's a call for artwork and they have like a winter call or something, then I would have something in my
Right.
mind. But if I'm
Yeah.
painting just like that, then I would have the title in the process or afterwards. So
Okay.
yeah.
This
So
is
Can
really
see, I can
interesting
see why this is
texture.
sold. It's
Do you ever
just
struggle with the title?
do you struggle, Mina?
With the title?
No, I
Mm,
don't struggle with titles. I think I'm very fortunate. It comes quite spontaneous. And because I like to write about my piece afterwards of my thought
mhm.
process and what I'm trying to show, almost like a word from that whole writing, I would pick it up as a title for the painting. So it's quite fun. I feel I like that process of choosing a title and writing a little bit about it.
Right.
Yeah. So this is
What do you,
Marshland Melody. So this
beautiful.
is it's a very large piece, and I would say this is a very textured piece. So
Yes.
and the texture I actually put it in a little cone, and then I was swirling around and making the mark. So there's lots and lots of web work, I would say, in it. And then I used a lot of translucent, paints to highlight some areas and so on. And it's sold, it's a large piece, and it looks beautiful in the client's home. So this is Autumn Calm. And as you know, the autumn in Canada is so beautiful. Everyone loves it, and all artists go crazy trying to paint, and I also did that. These are on paper, on mixed media. I started doing that and I quite like it because the nice big mat, it really enhances the entire painting. So here I was just trying to show how colors, viewing it, and the fall itself is a very calming, beautiful season. So lots of mark making, inks, and acrylic, and you can see those little whitish marks are all scraping. They're not actually white painted lines; they are actually scraping out the paints.
Where the tree trunks are? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, they're
Yeah.
all actually, while the paint is wet, I will scrape them out,
Yes.
and it gives
Okay.
beautiful marks. So I'm not painting the white over a form or
Right.
color. Yeah,
Yeah. Gotcha.
yeah. So this one actually takes me back to almost a memory that my mother once said that you're going to Canada and it's a place where it gives you coolness to the eyes. So
Mm. Oh,
in Hindi, since you have two, three people who understand, it means aankhon ki thandak. Coolness to the eyes is when you're surrounded with such natural beauty that you don't realize it, but it does affect your well-being and everything to be surrounded in such beautiful environment. So this was one that came up from one of those memories of coolness, and I titled it as the Emerald Carpet, trying to sort of looking at the emerald stone and the greenery as precious for our nature.
The clouds in there are beautifully done.
This is a 12 by 12, and it's Harvest Whispers. So here it was a lot about showing the movement of the wind and the sounds that the wind makes, cracking through the dry leaves and trees. So if you take a moment and listen, it's about noticing and listening. And there's lots of mixed media mark making in almost like showing the wind and the strokes behind as well. The sky, it doesn't have a form of cloud, but more of movement in it. So
Yes.
yeah, so that's what I tried to show here. Most of my pieces will have a bit more of the writing on my Instagram posts or on my websites. So if anyone likes to read more, they can always go there and read up, what's in my mind actually. This is a welcome spring, and it's just very pleasant. We are coming out of the state of snow and slush and everything, and the horizon line hasn't as yet become very green. It's still taking its time, but you can see the pleasantness in the sky, with the fresh colors and so on. So it's just about a welcome spring, very happy time for most of us in here, especially in Canada.
I can see many layers, especially
Yes.
in the bottom.
Yeah, yeah. And Mina, there are a few drips there too.
Oh
Yeah,
yes,
that's
very
hard to. Yes,
subtle.
I can see them.
Yeah, just a subtle, feel to it. So this one has really got inspired by almost, this one I would say is really inspired by the title itself. We've grown up hearing over the hills and far away nursery rhymes, and people talk about it, and so here is like one happy moment from childhood, perhaps, where there's lots of sunshine and there are few trees and there's grass and there's water, and so one of those pleasant memories from your childhood, and each one would relate to the over the hills in poems and storybooks and things. So, and it's sold, and it's with a very beautiful person who is here today as well, Dreamland, and quite inspired by the vastness of our, the horizon. I was almost trying to give that look of infinity, endless possibilities, experiences, hope. So it doesn't end right here where you have the darker shape in front of you. You can see there's lightness coming from behind. So that I was trying to create. So lots of layers as well, and no drips here. There's more of layering and mixed media and movement and so on.
It's a strong painting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Powerful.
Thank you. So this one is perhaps one of the paintings I've done with a reference to a photograph. And I think it was one of the hard one to paint because it was a commission. And because there's so much of dark in it that it was hard to make it pleasant, yet it had to have that night effect. So this is actually a photograph in Morocco, somewhere they said Sahara Desert. And it's a photographer who's quite famous on Instagram. And this was a picture that was given to me from his reference. I took permission and I made it. The white glow and everything at the back is It's a bit glittery white that I have used. So if you look at the painting from the side, it it sparkles up. And I don't think I have done justice to the photograph here. I have to take a side picture to it. So I don't know.
It's very cool.
Thank you. I mean, you can ask me any questions on the go. So
What did you use for the stars?
the iridescent white
Oh,
from Golden.
yep.
It's one of my favorites when I'm doing stars and skies.
Mhm.
And
Yep.
actually, the next one, if we can go to the next one, is also the one
Great.
which is used
Oh,
with the iridescent white. And
mm-hmm.
this was an experience by itself while painting this piece because I don't know why, as an artist, I felt doing a moon by itself is not right. Maybe that was how I felt. To show the moon
Mm-hmm.
um, might not be a mature way of showing it. But then I just wanted to do one. And I have, while driving around, and when you're in the car and it's dark and you literally follow the moon on your drive, like,
Mhm.
and it always attracted me. And I said, let me try making some paintings. And this was a series basically. And I have sold most of them. And it was quite a challenge, I would say, trying to paint with these colors. But I enjoyed it totally because people loved it. So sometimes it's good to try new things.
Mhm.
Are you using a brush always, or do you use other tools?
I use, especially if the painting is large, I would use different tools a lot from the hardware. And from
Okay.
bigger, stuff that you use for walls and for, scraping and things. But when I go
Mhm.
for finer works or more in paper, I would be using brushes.
Oh yeah, paper. Yeah.
Yeah, because paper is a little, kind of delicate.
Yes, right.
This is not done with the iridescent white. It's more a prominent white color that I have used. It's a chilly morning, and it's about the viewers feeling it. In the
Hmm.
distance, you'll see a few trees and on the horizon line. So
Hmm.
that's the feel it was one of those cold mornings, and I sat down and I made this.
You didn't want to go outside that
No,
morning.
no, I preferred sitting on my table
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
painting. The next, actually, I've kept them in the last. These three pieces are very heavy mixed media. And this is Catharsis of Clay, and this was in the Vasa exhibition. And here I have tried to show the properties of clay, and I have, kind of shown life experiences of how clay is, you can mold it and use it initially. It hardens up, it breaks, but then you have it's about your perspective and how I let the water in the pot flow inside. The left part is that, on the part on the right is the broken pot. And so it's a whole
Hmm.
little story that goes behind it. And I have actually used a bit of clay as well on it. It's on paper.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's interesting. If you look at it from the if close, it has lots and lots of textures and layers to it.
yeah, it's very interesting.
This is Lady in Blue, and this is again very heavy textures. I have
Hmm.
actually used lace in this. So there's a lace coming from up to down, where you see the portrait getting a little lighter on the left is actually having a full shadow with the fabric there. So again, mixed media paper that I made, and I used that on the paintings. The lace was almost my inspiration to create this portrait. And the lady in blue is about, you know, sometimes your the looks and your dressings, how you dress, gives people a different kind of intuition of how your personality is. But there are layers to a person beyond how they dress up. So that's what I wanted to show here, the lady in blue. It's about resilience, yet being humble, you know. So that's the kind of feel I wanted with this portrait. So this again is life. It's called life dance, and this is completely made by paper, which I had done with Indian ink, and then there are some featured red marks and red tissues and things. And it's a very, I would say, a very strong color to use and a very strong uh, kind of impact. But and as I said, I do write, so I'll end the gallery by reading out just a couple of lines that I had done for that painting. And it says, "In the midst of the dark, you break through, make a dress, raise your arms up high, and dance your part in the play called life." So you can see the ballerina dancing, and there are,
Yes.
yeah, these are strong colors, and so a little bit of life experiences.
I love that piece, Thaniath. It's beautiful.
Thank you. I have never taken this piece to any show as yet because it's not yet framed. It's on paper and it's on watercolor paper. So I have to get that framed to have it shown
Yeah,
around.
you should.
Yeah,
It's very strong.
thank you. That's
Thank
me
you.
and my happy place painting. And I think this is Mina. This is with you at the
Oh, okay.
celebration
Yes,
square.
I can. Yes, yes.
Yes. Yeah, it's always nice I love community work. I love volunteering, and, I do classes and things. So it's fun to be with the community, talking to them and talking about art, really. So,
It's a beautiful show. Thank you very, very much
oh,
for
thank you for
inviting me.
coming. And
Thank you.
thank you, everybody. If there's any
Thank
questions,
you.
you can ask me or whatever it is. Thank you, Devika. Thank you, Uma. Bye,
Thank you.
everybody.
It was so beautiful looking at your landscapes. Really, really loved them, Tanya. They were
Oh.
amazing. I love your clouds. I love the depth you were able to do. The light at the back. Though there were two, three paintings. The your little bit of land at the back with the light. It was so amazing. Loved the clouds though. Loved
Oh,
everything. Your landscapes were amazing.
thank you. Thank you for coming.
I really enjoyed some of the the later work where you're playing with the clay and the work that you were doing for the later things and the
Mhm.
dancer
Mm,
specifically. That were
yeah,
very strong pieces.
yeah. I don't know why I'm quite attracted to ballerinas. Maybe if I had another life, I would become a ballerina.
But Thaniath, you have a dancing background.
Yeah.
Yes, you
So,
danced as a young girl.
as, yeah, I
Yes,
suppose so. Yeah. So that's always attracts me. When I have to do figurative drawing, I love doing ballerinas. So,
it's a beautiful one. I really like.
oh,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
you should do more of the
Oh,
figurative.
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should. We'll get there. Thank you.
Do,
Thank you,
are
everybody.
you able to
Thank
paint
you.
every day?
No, I would say I paint um in parts. Like I would paint a month and I paint so much. because I paint quite quickly. And then I will have a gap, and then I paint and I have everything set up, and my water is there, everything is there. So I would say I'm like a seasonal painter, and then I become full time at that time.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially if I have a show coming up or something, I'll be on it and I'll
Course.
have so many new pieces, and then I'm scrambling which ones should I take or which one I should do. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's how it
Yeah,
happens.
it's a lot of work getting ready for the shows.
Yes, it is. But I mean, you guys do a great job, so we always love being in your shows.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we
Yeah.
try. But we also, I also appreciate that it's hard work for the artist just to get all the work prepared so it can be shown, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
A lot of work.
Labor of love on both sides, I think.
Yes, yeah, I would
Yeah.
say. Thank you so much for sharing, for taking the time.
Yeah,
Oh,
Thaniath, it's a beautiful, beautiful exhibit. Really is.
thank you. I have to thank Arts on the Credit to give us this, lovely platform here, of people
Yeah.
coming. And this will be taped so people can even watch later, which is so amazing, even,
Great.
So,
Yes,
yeah.
hopefully I
Yeah.
won't mess up the recording. I don't think I can, right?
No.
No, I don't think you
I
can.
don't think you
Okay,
can.
good.
You just send it off
Great job.
to Paula.
You did a great job, Elisa.
Yeah.
Really, you
Except
did
when
a
I
good
lost
job.
everybody halfway through. I have no
No,
idea
no.
what I
Yeah,
did.
but you found it again, so that's good.
Found us.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody have a lovely, it's a sunny, sunny day. Enjoy the sun.